We're on Niddah Perek Zayin Mishnah Daled. We're continuing to talk about tamim, stained garment, blood-stained garments. Remember, we said the blood of Niddah was tameh, but we assumed that Jewish women were matzni'ah. They understood the implications. They wouldn't leave their stained garments around. They would hide them. They would keep them private. Probably for Tumah reasons, because they knew. So therefore, kolak tamim animtzeim b'chol makom torim. If you find a stained garment anywhere, you can assume they're torim. Okay. Says the Bar Tenura, b'makom Yisrael in the Jewish areas. Why are they tahor? Cheskatam einam midam niddah. We can assume they're not from dam niddah. They slaughtered a chicken. They're dealing with food. The atznu mitzane, they would hide them. And I think actually, in retrospect, it's not just because of tzniut per se, but modesty, but because they knew that these things are tameh, and therefore, if it was really tameh, they would hide them away. They would keep them private and clean them and get rid of the stain. Okay, so all of those tamim are nimtzeim b'chol makom, Torah, they're tahorim. Chutz mina nimtzeim b'chadarim, except those that are found and in the rooms, ubisvivot beit hatumot, in the areas of beit hatumot. Beit hatumot are the areas, right? Cheder she'anashim mishtamshot bo b'mei nidutam, the place that the women would use during their nidut. It reminds me, I saw, it's very interesting. I once saw a lecture. I once attended a lecture about Ethiopian practices, and they had this thing called Beit HaTumot. These Ethiopian women, when they became nidot, they would go to another house outside. And to our modern Western sensibilities, it's terrible. Like, how could you banish a woman during her menstruation? But the Ethiopian women, apparently, they kind of enjoyed it. They were freed from the burdens of the house. It was kind of like a female retreat. That was at least the way it was explained to us. It would make sense if you lived in a society of Tumah and Tahara, right? During the time that a woman would menstruate, if she was Tameh, she didn't want to make her whole house Tameh. You didn't want to take all the contents of the house to the mikveh afterwards. So they went to the Beit HaTumot. That was it's interesting. It's just a total different reality from the one that we live in today. And therefore, Beit HaTumot, moreover, not Beit, therefore, Beit HaTumot shel Kutim. Remember we talked about the Kutim, this sect, the Kutim. Okay, they converted, etc. So, as we've seen in many cases, the Kutim were like the Jews for a lot of things, but unlike the Jews, they didn't adopt all the practices. So we'll see in the next Mishnah too. So their Beit HaTumot mitamin be'ohel. It has tumat ohel. You have to assume there's tumat mate in it. I mean, there's no tumat mate of niddah. The niddah itself, the touching it is mitameh, the stain. But it's not mitameh be'ohel. But the Beit HaTumot of the Kutim are. Why? They buried their miscarried fetuses. The Bar Tenura says the fisha temporarily. We would remove them later. We're suspect. We don't know if they actually removed them or not. So they bury them in the floor. And therefore, I guess that was what their practice was. Therefore, in the Beit HaTumah itself is betameh be'oil. If you went into the Beit HaTumah, you're tameh. Rabbi Yehuda says, "Lo ayu kovrim elam ashlichim." They wouldn't throw them there. They would discard them. They would cast them off. V'chayago ratam. The animals would drag them away. So Rabbi Yehuda said it wasn't mitameh be'oil because the animals would take the fetuses that are mitameh and consume them or what have you. We'll stop here, dedicate our learning to remembering my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Make it a great day.